There's a right Alright. Alright. I think this one. ちょっと待ってな。The camera cable is a bit too long on my end. That's why right now it seems to be alright. I think 大丈夫かな。大丈夫。そうかな。As long as it doesn't just skim all the way. Not this. Alright. Anyway. Kongnam everyone, how's everyone day? Did everyone sleep well? And today, just gonna show you guys normally what I cook for my meal. But like normally I do eat a lot per day, but there is one like specific once per week I will eat a lot. Like when I say a lot, it's like really a lot. And I mean like today I'm gonna do some cooking and just gonna show you guys how my cooking is so simple and it can still be easy to make. So like right now, just gonna show you guys normally normally this is like 3 to 4 serving. And I will just show you guys this. Normally I will just eat it as soon as possible once it's cooked. But like it's so simple. The way of cooking is so simple to the point that all you need to do for this cooking is just make sure that the pot is clean first. Let me go and clean the pot. Is a dirty pot. So for now, let's place this, plug in the power. I mean like this is just a recipe where normally it just I have no idea how it's it's not based on any cuisine. I will just say it first. It's just basically like for me like all I need to do is just place a washed rice, alright? This is not a normal rice, alright? You have to wash the freaking rice first, alright guys? Make sure to wash your rice no matter what. Even if the rice says you don't need to wash it. I mean, actually, if you wash your rice, even if it because it's to remove all the stuff, you do not want the rice to be sticky. Because if you eat a sticky rice, it will be a different rice, alright, guys. Basically, you can see this rice I wash and soak in water. So basically, what you need to do is just make sure that before you place anything in, I place the rice first. Basically, you just need to make sure the rice is washed first, and then you just for my case, I just place enough water to cover the rice. Normally, I say a lot of people will be like, "Oh, you need to place more water. You need to make sure that everything is covered." A lot more water is like they say like 1 cup of water. 1 cup of rice is to 1 cup of water. Like for my case, I just say that as long as it's covered enough, it's good enough. And normally I will use seasoning from instant ramen. Like if you got any instant ramen, you can just use the seasoning. But this time around, I just decided not to use it. So basically, what you need to do for this case is like before I place anything, I'll place salt first into the water. It's not open. I'm not gonna switch it on yet, guys. I'm not gonna switch it on because I do not want it to be cooked yet. I will start only cooking it when once everything is in. So it's so simple though. Like this is what I normally eat in my cheat day. It's so simple to do. So just make sure you add salt. If you don't add your salt to your food, every chef will be like, it's gonna be bland. It's not gonna be very. It's not gonna be tasty. Oh, for goodness sake! I mean, I have worked in a Western restaurant before, and the amount of time when I hear my head chef say, "Oh, don't put too much salt. Don't use." And then when I don't use too much salt, it will be like, "Oh, you need to use more salt because you'll be bland." Oh my goodness me. To the point that I'm really used to using salt in my cooking already. So if you guys don't use salt, it's alright for me. I mean, if you guys are going healthy and you guys don't want to use salt, by all means go ahead. But I'm just saying that it will be much delicious if you use salt. And I know a lot of people say like don't use frozen food. I know if you guys go and check on YouTube channel, they say, oh, you don't use frozen food. For goodness sake, I'm gonna use all these are frozen. These frozen vegetable, right, guys? I know some people, but don't use frozen whatsoever. By all means, just go ahead and use it. It's alright. There's nothing wrong with using frozen food. This is already kind of defrost already. I have to defrost it a bit, like prepare it, take out of the fridge beforehand, and just you can say it's not really kind of any cuisine that I come across, kind of one cuisine that I come across, but it's just that this is my twist, and I won't call it based on that name because this is not that cuisine, alright, guys. Basically, for me is that I just gonna add green vegetable first. I will add a lot of vegetable. It's alright if you don't like vegetable and you don't want to add vegetable. It's alright, guys. I mean, for my case, I want to eat greenery. Normally you can add vegetable after the rice, but I want to have the rice at a crispy base. When you want the rice with a crispy base after the cooking, right? It's normally the rice first and then you add the vegetable. And if you find that it's not enough water, you can add a little more water later on, so you don't need to worry. Right now, it seems like there's not enough water. It's alright. Just add all your vegetables. Touch your hand into the food. Let your blood and sweat be part of the food. Goodness sake. That is called love. Adding love to your food. Alright, guys. Always make sure to add your love so that when people eat your food, including yourself, you'll be very, very delicious. If you don't do that later, it's not very delicious. Hello, how's your day? I'm cooking right now. So make sure you guys add the food. Okay, this time around, I know I already add 1 cup of rice, which basically once you cook it, it'll be 2 cups of rice. I'm going to add 1 packet of instant ramen. Like seriously, I'm gonna add 1 instant ramen in the middle. Add 1 instant ramen. Normally it's around, you can add, if you want more, you can add more. But normally just keep the seasoning, you can keep it. Neji. Neji-san. Am I saying something wrong? Oh well. Anyway, I'm cooking right now, so maybe I say something wrong. You know what? I'm gonna add more instant ramen. Since tonight I'm gonna eat a lot. Let's add 1 more packet of instant ramen. Normally this one is around 2 to 3 serving of beef, for 2 or 3 serving. Neji-san, you want to come in and talk? Alright, let's cook a little bit more. Let's cook 2 packets of instant ramen. Let's eat more, a little bit. Normally I do eat a lot though, but this is just basically one of the few samples that you guys can see. Basically, I will just add meat on one side. It's alright if you go and get store-bought frozen food. You're tired. How tired are you? You know what? Let's just add frozen meat, some frozen meat here instead. Let's place it. Normally I will just anyhow place my food and let it cook. And then let's place dumpling here. Let's add dumpling here. And you know what, guys? I'm gonna add some sausage. the sausage. So I'm gonna use it. You need to prepare for lesson. Your feet hurt and you want to sleep. Then you go and sleep. Then it's alright if you go and have an early rest. Make sure to go and rest. Add as much sausage or as little sausage as you like. Basically, for my case, I'm gonna add a little bit more because I want my sausage because I do like sausage. Alright, and since there might be not you have a class to teach in 1 hour. Good luck. That is a good luck. Alright, you're gonna go on now because you want to check on their homework. Oh my goodness. Yeah, thank you. Okay. I need to add some more water. I mean, you guys can just add if you guys don't have any seasoning at home, just use the instant ramen soup. If you like, you got 1 packet of season, just use it. But for my case tonight, basically I will just make a bit of Korean style. So basically what I'll add is gochujang. If you got, it's alright. If this one is the one I got as a gift, so don't expect me to use the. If you got like, if you guys got a bigger one, use the bigger use other one. I mean this is given to me, so I just use whatever I was given. Some calamari powder. Basically it's kind of like grounded. It just got a earthy taste to it, and it's good for frying, but I normally use it for like cooking, and it's got a very earthy taste. If you want some spice to it, add some red pepper or red chili powder or whatever sauce that you have. Or if you don't like too much, you can just add paprika. I think paprika is also good. And then black pepper. I like a lot of spices to it, so I do add a lot of black pepper. And then this is a sauce that soya sauce I made. It's basically brown. I just cook brown sugar and soya sauce together, and it just basically it's kind of like, you can call it a dark sweet sauce, but it's not even dark though. So it's just basically a bit of bitterness and I mean like salty and sweet sauce. And normally I do use a lot of this. I mean, as long as it starts pouring out. It's the only thing is that because it's sticky, so it doesn't really pour out too much. And the reason why I normally add sauce first is that in case like this, okay, I just start cooking it all the way to strong power. So like what I do is normally just slowly add water on top of the sauce or whatever you call it, like seasoning. Normally I would call it seasoning though. And just make sure that you slowly incorporate the water, and make sure don't overfill your pot though. Like when you cook, right guys, make sure don't use too much water. Like if you find if the rice or the noodle is still dry, then you slowly add more water to it and then you let it cook. But like for this case, normally like it's already cooking, so I'll just wait for it to cook. Normally I would wait for it to boil first, but since I'm using a hot pot, so this time around I'm just gonna cover it and let it cook on its own. If you need more seasoning, you can add more seasoning, but as for right now, a lot of people will say add more salt, considering that I already add salt at the bottom. The reason why I don't like to add too more salt is that if you guys look at some of the processed food that I'm using, like the sausage inside contain quite a few bit of saltiness, and the seasoning is like basically if you guys do it correctly, you don't really need to add too much salt. So if you guys are really health healthiness concerned about it, then don't add too much salt. Like just a few pinch of salt is also good enough. But personally, what I would say, like as a person who worked in a restaurant before, it's best you add a little bit touch of more salt than no salt, because personally wise, having a food with a slight taste of saltiness is way better than a food that is like totally bland, because you do not want your food to be very bland. If you guys can use other seasoning, like basically like this season, some of the seasoning I use, some of them it contains salt already. So like for example this gochujang that I'm using, gochujang or gochujang, I have no idea how to pronounce it, but basically this sauce in one of the ingredients, I'm not sure whether you guys can read the word, but basically if you guys saw, some of them inside got indicate salt in it already. So there is no requirement to add salt to don't add additional more salt to the thing, because personally wise, the last thing you guys want is the food to be way too salty. But at the same time, if you find it whether you are not sure whether is it salty enough or not, taste it while it cooking later on. Like right now, I'm waiting for it to cook. I'm just letting it cook on its own, and just let it be. It's actually alright. You guys don't need to worry about whether is the food gonna be nice or not. It's just that this is one of the food that I cook, and I just as for like the meat, why do I not use water to cover all beyond? Because the one thing is that I do not want the meat to expand too big later on. It's kind of like steam cooking the meat, and later on when it once it start boiling out whatsoever, if you make later you just need to make sure that you stir a little bit of the meat to make sure the meat is thoroughly cooked, because you do not want to eat frozen or raw meat. Never ever serve raw or frozen meat unless it's prepared by a restaurant, probably. I don't know. I mean, like because the one thing is that to eat raw meat, right, some of them need to be either seasoned, or like for example for fish, they have to be prepped by chef first before they can serve it. So sorry for some comment how today. I mean, like right now, when it comes to raw food, especially like at home, if you find the food indicate that they can be served while being torn, like once you default it and it can be served, you can eat it, then you just eat those food, because those food have been processed once. But if the food is not processed, it's like even if it's processed food and it indicate that you have to cook it, you better cook it. And even if they don't indicate, it's best to cook it at least to make sure that to kill out any bacteria, germs, or pesticide that is still on the food. Because the last thing you want is getting a stomach upset or food poisoning, because that's the last thing as a person who knows cooking is you do not want to have a stomach ache. And in case anyone like asks me sometimes why do I always go to the toilet to release a lot of body toxin, is that the amount of food I tend to eat per day, it tend to be like I tend to eat around once or twice per day. Like my meal is like once or twice only. I normally don't eat triple now. In the past I used to eat a lot, but after coming to Japan, I had reduced a lot of my food intake. So right now you guys see this is like, it seems a lot, right? It's basically around 3 to 4 serving. I only eat this in my cheat day, and it was supposed to be yesterday. First thing first, it was supposed to be yesterday, but yesterday I was like got slot in for part-time, but in the end got cancelled. But in the end I was like, have to prepare just in case I might have to go for part-time, so I have to prepare everything. So I wasn't able to eat yesterday, so today I'm gonna eat this amount of food. And what you guys saw basically, right, is basically the amount of food I tend to eat when it's on my cheat day. Like really, it's a lot though. I know some people will be like, oh, I mean, son, you're gonna eat a lot, you're gonna get fat. What's the purpose of what always ordering feed? Oh, for goodness sake, you guys don't need to worry about that, because if you don't eat at least something nice to reward yourself, there is like no purpose or no whole exercise, because you don't really, I mean, like right now I'm gonna do like eat a lot, right? Tomorrow I'm gonna do a little bit more exercise too. Like tomorrow normally I will do, you guys sometimes notice that sometimes when I do ring fit exercise I tend to do like a little bit more. It's because like basically the previous day I eat a little bit more or something delicious that make me feel energetic for the next day, so that I can eat, so that I can do more exercise. You have to make yourself reward, and don't really need to worry about whether you want to burn, unless you are going for extreme diet. Extreme diet meaning to say within 30 days you can't eat anything, you can't you just basically eat very controlled food. Then I don't recommend cheat days. Cheat day is like basically for you to do it on days that you have to slowly enjoy your exercise, and it's the most recommended way of slimming down, because like like basically if you don't do a cheat day once per week, you feel the burnout of exercise very fast. So for example, if you really want to ensure that you want to exercise for a long period of time, try to at least include one day where you either eat some junk food or eat something delicious. Like for my case, I tend to eat a lot more. Like this is my meal for that cheat day. So like example, if I eat this right, tomorrow I'll do a little bit more to not really say that it's not gonna burn all of the excess calorie off or not. It's just basically like give yourself more energetic, a more reason to do more exercise, because you know that you eat this, I eat this much, I know that tomorrow I will try to give it more to do exercise. And I know some people will be like, how is my weight still not increasing? Don't worry, the thing is that my weight have been idling around 83 to 85 in this range, all because that even when I include cheat day with my meal eating this much, I had include a lot of my meal with this much, and my weight is still idling the same. But the one thing that I can assure you guys is that my wrist not my wrist, definitely I think my wrist definitely is slimming down. My leg is getting buffy, like seriously buffy. I didn't took a photo. I actually looked through my mirror, and I was kind of shocked that how my lower leg is actually more firm already. When I press it, it's really firm. The arm is also getting firm. But the one thing is that right now, the hip area and my belly area is still the same. That there is still a belly there, but you guys, I know some people are like, oh, Amazon, you just need to make sure that you need to don't eat cheat day. You need to eat lesser. Yes, I do eat very less on other days. Like any other day, I eat very less. Alright, guys. This is just only one meal that I eat once per week. So you guys are just taking a look at a meal that I cook once per week. So, but at the same time, don't worry about this recipe if you can't eat it finish, because this, when I say measure, is normally 2 to 3 serving of 3 to 4 serving depending on your how you look at it. But I can assure you guys that, oh my god, it smells so nice already. Okay, basically what you guys need to do is that for this meal, right, it's actually alright if you guys want to serve it for the whole family. If you guys got a family of 3 or 4, by all means serve it accordingly to your whole family, because it's actually meant to be 3. When I mentioned it's like 2 to 4% depending on how you look at it. But normally this is how I eat when during my cheat day. It's really a lot. If anyone asks me how much it is gonna cost me, I would say it will cost me around 1,000 yen. Normally when you go out and eat this one, it will cost you around 3-4,000 yen, you know. It's like, that's the reason why I tend to cook on my own. The reason why I tend to eat on my own is that this one is just cost me around 1,000 yen. If you go out and eat, it's gonna cost you 3-4,000 yen. It's like, if I can eat for 3-4,000 yen, I can just eat for 1 freaking week. For 1 week, with one of them is being a cheat day. And other ingredient I can cook, I can use for like normal other meal like spaghetti or mac and cheese or any other ingredient is alright. But this is just so simple, and it can serve up to like 3 to 4% or maybe 2% if you have a huge appetite. For me, it's just only my cheat day, and it's only gonna serve me alone today. That's just how much how much this I tend to cook my own. It's like some people are like, oh, I mean, so if I want to cook this, how much should I serve? So I can't finish it. Just leave it for as a leftover and then eat at the next meal. If you eat this in the morning or afternoon, just put in the fridge and then warm it up afterwards and eat it as a dinner. Or if you cook it as a dinner, serve it as a breakfast tomorrow. It's also fine. There's no wrong with it. Food once you cook, you can still be eaten the next day as long as you freeze it. Not more like freeze it, more like you put in the fridge, put in the food container, or maybe put in a bowl and make sure to wrap it out with a plastic wrap, and then put it in the fridge the next day, and then warm it out in the microwave or steam it or however you want to warm it out, and then cook. And then if you want to stir fry it, also stir fry is alright. The one thing that I can show you guys is that just let it just make sure that the food is cooked before you eat it. Because you do not want to have some food. I'm not saying that don't ever eat cold food. There are some food that is really best eat cold, but like for this recipe, it's normally best eat hot. Alright. So like basically right now you guys saw is that based on the picture right now, it's steaming well. When I say it's a very simple recipe, it's like just dump everything in and let it cool and not touch anything. Like basically this is just basically what I normally do. I do not touch it. I really just let it cook. And you guys, basically from my end, I can see the meat is being cooked already. If you guys got anything, if you guys are worried about steam coming out too much, right? Just open up like this, a little bit from this side. Just let on one side to let the steam go away. If you guys are worried about steam, no steam. Most of the time, I got one cap that has the steam to let the steam run out. And I know some people are like, oh, I mean, what about the water? Not enough water later on. Just like I mentioned earlier, add some water if you guys find there is not much water. It's alright. There's nothing wrong with cooking. Cooking is not about just because the recipe say you need to use 250 ml of water doesn't mean that you don't add additional water. Like every recipe, right? It's just that as a guideline. You can give the one recipe to 10 people and 10 people will cook it, and the end result is never the same. The end result, it might look the same, it might not look the same. The thing is that recipe is always there as a guideline. How you cook it is based on your experience, how you follow the instruction, and how you ensure the consistent of the recipe is. That's the reason why when you like right now, this is one simple recipe I just showing you guys. You guys like find like when you're the noodle you are cooking or the sauce seasoning might be different. Everything ingredient is so different to the point that you can't use the same style of what I'm cooking. You guys have to change you have to change based on what you have at your hand. So if you find there is not much water in your pot, add a little bit more water. Hello, many thanks for me. How's your day? Right now I just cooking my kind of like hot pot but clay pot, and at the same time more like I had no idea how to call it. But basically once you guys find it that want the steam, there is so much steam already, just lower the temperature is also alright. If not, let me go ahead and get some. Let's see whether it's the noodle is definitely cool. I'm not really worried. The right, hola. You can see that the meat is still not cooked, so it's still not ready. The meat has to be thoroughly cooked before it can consider ready. So you have, so in this case, I will just say, okay, let's let it cook some more. You don't know 39 degrees and you enjoy your day, you probably know the answer. Go and eat some medicine and rest and sleep. 39 degrees is very high, you know. That is a fever, you know. Any temperature that is. Then go and do your dailies then. Didn't I tell you to do your dailies in the afternoon? Did you not? Let me go and drink some water. I need to get one water. You don't remember? Then go and do your. Okay, first thing first. Go and. For me, I will add some water first to the pot. And for Vanessa, make sure to go and do your dailies first. Go and do your dailies first, no matter what. Then. Amisa, can you help me farm for sale after your class? Okay, I can help you later on. You kind of burn out of light again. Yeah, Nanji-san got sale already. I still don't have sale though. I'm 120 pull in and I still don't have sale. I checked my PT already, it's 120. Xiao doesn't want to come home for my. I really wonder if I'm gonna get Xiao this. I still got 10 more days to pull for sale. I want Xiao though. Alright. Let's see. Let's just let it cook. Let my actually normally I cook this in the okay. Just that you guys need to know. I normally cook this recipe not in a hot pot, alright? Not this hot pot. Normally I cook this in a clay pot, alright guys? Anything I cook is always tend to be on a clay pot because for this recipe it will be the clay pot. I do have a clay pot, a very big clay pot. And you skip Layla and Ito again for Xiao and Kazuha. I hope you can get Xiao. Let's hope that Xiao Heaven will have sale. Let's all put for sale. The one thing I can assure you guys is that for this one, I always tend to use clay pot first. Let me get back to topic. I always tend to use a clay pot. Clay pot tend to have a better taste, alright guys. I do have a clay pot that is similar size in this hot pot. I have the same size. So it's something that I tend to use the clay pot for this recipe. What am I cooking? You can call it kind of a simple recipe, kind of like a bit of Korean cooking, a bit of Spanish cooking, a bit of but there is no name for this recipe. I will just tell you guys, there is no name to this recipe. Like basically, there's like I can't give it a name. I can't name it. I can't call it a Korean cooking. I can't call it a Spanish cooking. I can't give it a name because if I give it a name, it will be disrespectful to that dish, to that cuisine. But basically, this cooking is just basically rice at the bottom, vegetable in the middle, and then like basically like how the Spanish cook their pala, basically something like that. But for this meal, right, normally for my case, it's similar kind of like style of cooking. Basically, the rice is at the bottom, so I want to cook my rice at the bottom to be crispy. It has to be very crispy. And then the rice is, once the bottom rice is crispy, at the top is basically meat and ramen. And you guys can know that when you add ramen, meat, some vegetable, basically it's like Korean. Yes, you can use instant ramen, if you guys got like pasta, you can also use pasta. If you guys want to use any dry noodle, as long as it's noodle you want, you can add on. It's optional. But for my case, I tend to add instant ramen because it tend to cook faster. At the same time, I would like my noodle to be soggy. Alright, guys. You think you play too much and stop. Don't ever play at rain, alright, Benny-san. Don't ever play at rain. When it's rain, don't play. Alright, for this case, it's like this. Okay, back to the okay. For the fighter-san, I will just say that this recipe is kind of a cross cuisine, but at the same time, it's my recipe that I tend to use. It's very simple, and it just rice at the bottom. The video will be this video will be archived, so if you want to take a look at what I add, you can watch the replay after the video get archived to see what I add. But I can assure you guys that this is one of the recipes I tend to cook on my cheat day. It can serve really up to 2 to 4 person. It's basically more like 4 person. Everyone is gonna and you can just cook it for, if you're gonna cook it for a whole family, by all means it's alright though. It's actually fine to serve out to the whole family because it's a very big serving. Right, my hand is just here. It's really that big, this pot. It's not a small pot, it's a very freaking big pot, alright. Everyone use dress for pom, you say pants and tuxedo. You say tuxedo, I mean you can either call it suit or you call it tuxedo though. Okay, this recipe is very, you can say it's tasty, but normally at the end, how I know is the food gonna be cooked? I made my own broth. I'm just use water though. You can just use plain water. It's alright to use plain water. You don't need to you don't really need to, because at the end of the life, I just add basically I just add my own spice, some Korean, the gochujang. Basically, you don't really need to use any. The broth will come out tasty though. And if I go and get like if I add my spoon, for my case, before I start ensuring, like right now, I just need to check the food taste. Oh my god. I will add a little bit more salt just in case. Normally I'm using table salt, so I don't need to add too much salt already. If you are using kosher salt, then you can add a bit more, but if you are using table salt, never add too much salt. Because you do not want a too salty of a food. I mean, even there are times when I get scolded by my head chef because, oh, you don't add too much, so later the fry will be very salty. And I'll be like, okay, wakarimashita. What's my favorite instant ramen flavor? My favorite this is an instant answer. I will just say mee pok from Singapore. If you go and search one instant ramen in Singapore that is sold by Mojo, a brand called Mojo. It's called mee pok, Neepok. That is my favorite, no matter what. I mean, I do love a lot of instant ramen in Japan, don't get me wrong, but that instant ramen that I eat from Singapore, that is my all-time favorite, no matter what. They can have, and anyone can serve me any instant ramen, but if anyone serve me that mee pok, no matter how bad they cook it, I will eat that. Okay, let me go and place all my seasoning back first, and then I'll add 2 more egg to it. Give me a while. Alright. Let me place 2 whole egg. I just cracked 2 whole egg already. That's why I was cracking the egg, placing in. Close the lid. Switch off the power. The one thing you guys want to know is that you can just let the steam cook the egg. And once the egg is cooked, everything is done. And this is just basically all done already. You ever try Tom Yum Kang instant ramen? If you're referring to Tom Yum soup instant ramen, I have it a few times. There is a lot of different brands that serve like I had eaten the Thai Tom Yum, the Thai brand Tom Yum. I also eaten Japan brand Tom Yum. There is a lot of different brands in the world, but if it's just Tom Yum soup instant ramen, yes, I had eaten those. I do prefer, but the reason why I prefer some, I'm not saying that I hate it, don't get me wrong, right? Some are really really nice, but not all are catered to my taste. Because I will just say one thing is that as a person who cook, everyone got a different taste. Everyone got a different flavor of that they prefer. So normally when I teach people a recipe, always do add the seasoning based on what you prefer. It's alright to use, if it's alright to omit some recipe, some ingredient, or to add on additional recipe that you think to make it delicious, because recipe is there as a guideline. Recipe is just there to tell you what you need to do. If you don't like too much salt in your food, don't add too much salt. But I will just say the food might be a bit bland. But if you're a person who like bland food, by all means go ahead, it's alright. But if you're a person who like a bit more saltiness and you want to add more salt, it's also alright. Just add a little bit more salt and it's up to you. But do know that it's cooking is just there for you to understand. The recipe is just there to tell you what you need to add, what you need to do. It's just a guideline. There is no perfect recipe where everyone have, because I had talked with some people I worked before, and we all agree is that recipe is just a guideline, that everyone got their own style of cooking. Like there is no way to understand, like friends, like when we especially when I work as a fryer, when we fry our french fries, normally it depends. Like one of the sous chef I work with, he loves to fry his french fry for 7 minutes. The guideline is 5 minutes. I always fry around, make sure that the fry is crispy, and then I will serve it. And there is time when some of my colleagues, some of my co-workers that I used to work with, they love to cook it around 4 minutes, 5 minutes. There is no, it's just everyone got their own style of cooking. Everyone got their own style of cooking. It's just that it depends on how you cook it, and there is no perfect thing of cooking. So basically right now, once the egg is basically, you guys can see the egg is done already. The reason why I prefer to add the egg, close it, make sure you cover the lid first, close the power, and let the steam do the cooking. Because by the end of the cooking, right, the egg white is cooked, the egg yolk will be running, and you guys will be saying, give me a while. And to make it as if I mentioned that to make sure that it will be something like similar to Korean cooking, I will be adding 2 slices of cheese to it. Always make sure to add cheese to make it delicious. Just add the cheese. No matter, just place any cheese wherever you like. I mean, cheese does make this whole thing delicious though. And cover back the lid just to make sure that, just let the steam, a bit of steam to just cook the remaining, melt the cheese or whatever you call it. And then let me go and get the set. also one last ingredient I tend to add at the end for this cooking. If you guys love olive oil, use olive oil. By all means, it's alright. But for my case, I got sesame oil. Sesame oil is one of my favorite all-time oil that I tend to use at the end of the cooking. If you guys like olive oil, it's alright to use olive oil because olive oil. For my case, I find olive oil a bit too expensive for my. So it depends on situation. But for my case, I would just say that I will tend to add sesame oil because it will be at the end. You just drizzle it, and it's done. Basically, this is done. You guys can see this is all done. This can be eaten right now. Alright, let me just switch it off. Remove the power plug. Let me take a nice photo of it so that you so that I don't use Instagram, okay guys. I use Twitter. And then I'll have a bite. Yes, I will be having a bite. I have to wait for it. Normally I give it a moment of I'm not sure. The picture might be a bit hard to see on using the camera I'm using, so I'm gonna send a picture to my own account so that you guys can see a sharper version. Alright, let me see. Let me download the picture so that it'll be much easier to show you guys the it'll be much sharper if I took a photo and then show it. I don't. Let me see. Download. Okay, is it? Download the picture that I just took. Download it. Close the window. English food. Alright. Just in case, this is the sharp version. A much more sharper picture version of the picture of the food. Basically, this is how it turned out to be. So delicious. Yeah, basically this is the food that how it turned out to be. Is the reason why the web camera I'm using is not very sharp. The image I'm using is not very sharp, so that's the reason why I have to take a photo of this and show it to you guys. Alright, time for me to eat the food. You guys will see me enjoy the food now. Like I mentioned, this one, the reason why I have to wait for it to cool down for a little bit more, right, is to let the steam get out first. You want to let it get out, and then you see the yolk is still runny, guys. So you see the egg is still runny. That's the reason why I say you add the egg at the last, and then so that you can mix it with the noodles, and it will become a nice part where you can eat the noodles, and it will become very creamy looking. Hola. Let me bring the camera a bit closer. Hola. It looks so creamy now. Hola. This is how simple this is just how simple my cooking is though. Just one clay pot. This can serve up to a maximum of 4 person, and I'm gonna eat right now. Let me go and get a plate first. Or maybe I can just get a bowl. I'll just get a bowl instead. Let me eat this. Normally I would just eat with my face on top of the pot, but I do not want to show my face right now, so let's just let me eat this. Oh my god. It's too nice. Yeah, it's delicious. If you guys can come up with your own recipe, but basically it's not the recipe I tend to cook. If you guys you can use a normal pot or clay pot or frying pan, it's up to you. As long as there's a base and a lid, it's a very simple recipe to cook. And the one thing I like about this dish, right, is that you like mentioned, I just let it cook. I don't even need to look at it too much. I just let it cook for around 20 minutes and 20-30 minutes, and it's alright. You can just like maybe you can go, if you like just place the meat or whatever, let it cook, and then you go and do your stuff. Make sure set an alarm around 20 minutes. If you find it too dry, add a little bit more water, and then let it cook for around 10-20 minutes, and it's all done. And it's one simple recipe. You can serve out to 4 person. If you are serving for a family, use this recipe. It's very simple. And the reason why I like this dish is that at the base, right, there is the vegetable with the rice. And normally I use the clay pot instead, alright guys. Clay pot is much better in turning out the rice crispy. Because if you use clay pot, right, the reason why I tend to use clay pot more for this is that the base of the rice will be crispy. But it's also alright if the rice turn out, as long as the rice is good enough. Well, basically, it's one of the food that I tend to eat on my cheat day. This is my all-time favorite when I eat on cheat day. So, if anyone asks me like what I normally eat in my cheat day once per week, yeah, this is one of my recipes that I tend to cook. The ingredient, everything cost me less than around $1,000. More $1,000. 1,000 yen. Why am I saying dollar? I have no idea. But it cost me around 1,000 yen. If you buy, if you go and eat this at outdoor, normally it can be sold up to 3,000-4,000 yen, which is the reason why I tend to cook on my own. And the recipe is really simple. It's just rice and noodle together. I know people will be like, don't eat noodle on rice together, but I can assure you that guys that if you cook this and you eat this, you can understand that the reason why I tend to cook this once every week. It's one of my all-time favorite foods. And unless if you guys don't like soggy noodle or too soft, or if you don't like the noodle to be too soft, add the noodle at around when the food is about to be done. But you guys will notice that sometimes you need to add a little bit more water after that. If not the noodle will be too dry to be eaten. So normally I tend to add at the start, because the noodle one, even if you guys saw what I add, right, I don't use too much water. If you guys don't use too much water, the noodle won't come up too soft. It will there's still a bit of chew to it, and it's still very nice. Because you are cooking the water to cook the. Basically, you are cooking the rice and vegetable at the base, and the noodle is just kind of like getting steam cooking, a bit of steam cooking. So there is steam cooking into the noodle. If you find the noodle a bit too dry, then add a little bit more water to it. But like I mentioned, recipe is just there as a guideline for you to cook, and it just depends on how you cook it. But this is one of my recipes that I tend to eat at least once per week. I know some people will be like, oh, Mason, you're gonna get fat. No, I'm eating this once per week. I'm not eating every single day, alright? If I eat this every single day, I'll be breastful, but I'll be getting fat. Like very fast. So normally I only eat this once per week, and I have to make sure the next day I have to exercise a little bit more. What did I make? You can just check on my YouTube channel right now, you know. Or how about I send you the picture? Let me send you a picture on Discord. Where's my picture? Download. Alright. It's in our Discord already. Normally this one is really big. I mean, look at the freaking chopstick and the spoon I'm using. It's not even full cover the whole freaking for this is just how much I eat though. There are times when I serve this meal when my friend come to my house. Like there was one time when my friend come to my house and she was like, "Hey, Amisa, what you gonna eat?" I was like, "Today is my treat day though." And I cook this. I really cook this. And I add a little bit more ingredients. She liked it. She really liked it, and she was like, "How is this recipe so simple, so easy?" Yeah, it's really easy. You don't really need to cook. You just let it cook, and then you just do your own stuff. For like you guys saw me just do nothing for the whole stream. I just let it cook on its own. And you want to try? You want to eat it? Done then. I mean, unless you guys come to my place and ask me to cook. I mean, I got too many recipes for you guys to try already though. But I can show you guys right now, I'm really enjoying my food. That's the reason why I say on my cheat day I always enjoy my food. I mean, like this is one of the recipes that I tend to cook. It's really cheap. Like it's really cheap. It's served up to 3 to 4 person, and yet I'm eating it alone, you know. And also somehow you guys can the ingredient what you guys saw is just me adding meat, vegetable, whatever. You guys can use any vegetable, any meat or any dumpling you guys have. You can just use it. Then this recipe had no real recipe. It's just basically the rice at the bottom. Add the green on top. Make sure the water cover up both the vegetable and the rice. Then you add instant ramen or blasta or any noodles that you guys like. Add the seasoning. Make sure to add the seasoning. Make sure to add the salt at the start. Then you add some other seasoning like soya sauce. If you guys like prefer instant ramen, in the package, the sauce that they provide, use those. It's alright. There is no such. I'm not saying that you guys can't use that. If you guys like to use instant ramen package, use those. It's alright. So yeah, like basically it's really simple. Make sure that it's salt, and if you guys can have if you guys like curry, you guys can use curry. If you guys like cream sauce, use cream sauce. It's also alright. But make sure the cream sauce is at the end. I mean, I know how to make my own cream sauce, so I can do that. But let's not do that too much. If not, it will be too creamy. But I can assure you guys that you can, if you got any other brand of dumpling, you want to use any other dumpling, you want to use siu mai or wonton or whatever dumpling, or even xiaolongbao. Okay, stretch the last 小笼包. Use any dumpling that you guys have, any dumpling you guys find. Use those, is alright. You want to add sausage, you don't like sausage, you don't want to add sausage, by all means, it's up to you. There is no restriction on the ingredient. It's just basically rice, vegetable, any green vegetable or any vegetable you like. Then instant noodles, any dry noodle. It have to be dry noodle, right? Don't use fresh pasta. It will not, because the dry noodle is to absorb excess water from the whole thing. Then at the side, make sure to add dumpling or meat or whatever you guys have. If you don't have dumpling, you only get all meat. Use meat is alright. Like for my case, I add some beef meat. Like this is beef. I add beef meat. And it turned out alright. Add seasoning at the top. Add a little bit more water to make sure to half cover the noodle. Don't cover the noodle too much. Make sure to half cover. Use cover lid and let it cook for around 10-20 minutes. Return to check. Do you need to add more water or not? Rice tend to cook a little bit more longer, so it's alright. So once everything is done, don't switch off anything. Add the egg at the top. Add the egg. Cover the lid. Close the fire. Let it cook on its own for around 3 more minutes. Once you see the egg is turned white, the yolk will be still runny. The egg white will be turned all white. That is considered done. Add a 1-2 slice of cheese or whatever cheese you want to add. Parmesan cheese. You want to add mozzarella cheese, or I all mean use or parmesan. Whatever cheese you guys have, use those. It's alright. Cover the lid. Make sure to make the remaining heat cook the cheese to melt the cheese. Then serve it. If you got the gut to eat the whole damn thing, by all means go ahead. This is my serving. You guys can want, if you normally I can serve this to 3-4 person. But if you guys can't eat it finish, leave it as a leftover cook for tomorrow breakfast. It's also alright. But to be honest, every time when I do cooking, I wonder is it because it's my habit of cook as a person who loves to cook. There are a lot of times when I prefer to let you guys really have a try out of my food, you know. Like seriously, I really want you guys to try out this food. It's really nice. It's really delicious. And you just listen to how I'm eating this noodle right now. This is just how the noodle is just too delicious. You want to teleport to my brain and steal my meal? You want to come to my place and steal my meal, guys? Now, don't know. But the thing is that can you finish the whole meal or not? That's the thing. But then again, if you eat this meal and this one, I feel like if you can finish this meal, you will achieve your achievement of wanting to gain weight. Because the one thing is that I can show you guys, this one can gain weight, you know. This one contains a lot of protein, a lot of carbonate, and you can't finish that. This is like 3 to 4 serving though. For me, I consider this as 2 to 3 serving because my family is really big appetite. But normal person will say this is considered 3 to 4% of serving. It's really a lot though. you will eat finish one serving. I think you will eat finish at least one serving of this. At least. Yeah, because it's very delicious. And you'll be like, oh, it's so delicious, you want to eat finish? And then you'll be asking for second round. Are you sure about that? Yes, I'm very sure about it. That it's a little spicy. It's a bit of tasty. And then you'll be like, the noodle and the rice is so delicious. And just listen to the, this is just eating rice, alright? Listen to the sound of I'm eating rice. It's very subtle, but there is sound of the rice. Teleport. You want to teleport here? This is the reason why I like to cook this recipe, you know, guys. The rice is so done. The noodle is really tasty. Even the rice itself like absorb all the taste, you know. Normally I don't chew that loud, don't worry. I know chewing loudly in Thailand, that's the reason it's very rude, but I can assure you guys I don't eat that loud. It's just that I have to. Actually, you can't. I don't even chew this food, you know. Yeah, the rice just go into my mouth easily. Like right now, if I normally eat the rice, it will be all go into my stomach very fast. It's very hard to chew along the rice because it's very very soft. Your class will end in 40 minutes. Normally I eat very slow though, so don't need to worry. I think even by the time the class end, I'm still eating a bit, still got remaining to cook. But I can show you guys that I'll finish it this food. Don't need to worry. You only take 30 minutes. Are you getting paid to teach others though? Or are you not teaching? You should ask them to pay you. It should be payable. Then you can use the money to buy then you can use the money to buy walk-in. It's fine, not wrong on that. Man, I mean, I'm gonna teach you guys Japanese very soon. The video is I'm recording it already. Once I'm done with it, I will edit it and then post it out. You need to take note of the time when Kenshi is getting released on the next zombie run, because I know I know full well you want to get zombie. I know you want to get zombie all the way to C2. Oh my god, it's too hot. Oh. All the way to C6. なるほどな。 quite a challenge, I would just say. I mean, it's not impossible. But imagine your luck when you pull for C2, it jumped to C3. That would be nice. That would be very, very nice, right? I would say that would be the perfect one though. Triple Zongliga. So you want to jump from C2, from C1 all the way to C4 ka? You don't know. We won't know. You won't know when luck might appear. Just in case you guys want to know, normally I eat this in the afternoon. Alright, guys. I don't eat this at night. I always eat this at the afternoon timing, around 3-4 p.m. But for today's sake of cooking, I cook this at night time. Normally I cook this in the afternoon and then eat it, slowly take my time to eat around. It can take me up to around 1 to 2 hours of eating, but normally I always enjoy my food, alright? I mean, it's delicious. Afternoon, so what I normally eat at dinner? No, I don't eat dinner then. This is gonna make me full enough all the way to dinner time, you know. Normally this one is good enough to serve me all the way to dinner time. I mean, like when I said I ate around 3 or 4, right? It took me to eat around 2 hours. By the time I finish this, it will be around 5 or 6, and then I'll be very full by then. I won't be able to eat dinner. Yeah, I eat 2 meals per day, you know. Even on cheat day, I still eat 2 meals per day. I always eat 2 meals per day now. In the past, I eat 4 meals. Don't get me wrong. Not really breakfast and lunch. More like brunch and tea time. Let's call it brunch and tea time. Normally eat brunch and around tea time only. If I work on that day, it'll be kind of different. It'll be definitely around a very early breakfast where I will tend to eat a little bit much, then a dinner afterwards. But during the afternoon, I would at least prepare some biscuits just in case I'm hungry. Okay, then just go and enjoy the class. Have fun on teaching. I can show you guys that right now. You guys have to understand. If I tend to eat 3 meals per day, right? The meal I eat, right, you have to reduce the meal to 1 serving. The reason why I tend to eat 2 meals per day is that one of my I eat 2 servings per meal, you know. I eat 2 servings per meal. So you have to imagine if I eat 2 meals, I'm eating 4 servings per day. I'm eating 4 servings per day, you know. I don't eat just like 1 serving. It's not gonna be enough. It's always 2 servings per meal for me. Like this on my cheat day, then this one is considered 4 meals already. That's the reason why I only eat 2 meals. In the past, I eat 4 meals per day, and each meal is basically 1 to 2 serving, you know. And that's the reason why before I come to Japan, before I come to Japan, I was 110 kg or 230 pounds. I was really that heavy. And after I come to Japan, I walked to my during that time I was in school. I was studying. So I always walk to school. Sometimes I have to walk 1 hour to the main campus. I will walk 1 hour to the main campus, or I will take 30 minutes to the branch. One of the branch that I normally go. And it's normally like once per week. I will take around 30 minutes walk, like 3-4 days, and then 2-3 days I will have to walk 1 hour all the way to the main campus. And it's like basically an exercise for me. And at that time I reduced my meal to 3 meal 1 serving, and I really reduced, like I dropped my weight from 110 all the way to 80 kg. I dropped all my weight from 100, so I lost 30 kg. And right now, during the pandemic, I gained 5 kg because I didn't exercise, because I couldn't go out. And right now, I'm just slowly losing my weight. But basically, this is my meal. Am I a teacher? No, I'm not a teacher. But I used to be a tutor. For maths and science. Normally I teach people, in the past I used to teach people maths and science. But as for right now, I forgot a lot of formulas, so I can't be a math teacher or science teacher anymore. But if right now, like some Japanese people ask me to teach them English, I will teach them. Like there are some Japanese people, some of my friends ask me to teach them Japanese, I teach them. And there are some people who want to learn some simple Japanese, they will ask me. And because of that, right now, I'm recording a video on how to teach everyone simple Japanese right now. So I'm trying to record a simple record video on teaching everyone how to write and read Japanese. As for right now, I'm still trying to see how to make it as short as possible. I mean, it'll be boring if the raw video is around 10-20 minutes, right? I know I tend to speak a lot and explain a lot, but I don't want to make the video too long and naggy. So I'm going to make sure that it will be a very simple and summarized video on the Japanese lesson. So I'm going to create, I'm still on the raw part, but I'm trying to make it upload as soon as possible. You got start on the... I mean, you are having a headache and being lazy is one thing. But what kind of clothes are you wearing though? For plum? Where is the plum though? Change your clothes before you sleep. You need to always sleep in a comfortable clothes, you know. You don't want to get yourself too. You don't want to wake up with in a weird clothing, right? Oh my goodness. Then ready to sleep then.
recommend to sit and eat with 1 minute. I will stop you. But I recommend taking your food before you sleep. If it actually right now, if I think about it, right, one of my friends asked me to teach them simple maths. I was like, at the time when I was in school, as a student, when I was in school as a student, one of my Japanese friends asked me to teach them simple maths. I was like, what the hell? Why are you guys having simple maths? And when I learned that they are called asked them to do simple mathematical, I was like kind of shocked at the course they are taking. So I teach them some formula. And when I teach, okay, good, go and change your clothes. When I teach them the formula, they were like, how do you use this formula? And when I teach them and they was like using it, it was so simple, and they was like, I mean like S plus Y is so simple, and I teach them some formula, and they was like, how do you know this formula? And I was like, don't you guys know this formula? どうやって知らないの? I was like, なんで知らないの? そんな簡単なこと、これは難しくないよ。簡単ですよ。And then for around 3 hours, I was teaching them the formula. For 3 hours, I was teaching them the formula for them sake. I was kind of shocked when they actually learn they have to take simple maths in, and they told me they never even learned it in their high school. I was like kind of shocked though. I thought they learned the formula in their high school. Turned out that it wasn't. Guys, you guys want to know, I always tend to eat my food slowly. There is a reason why I eat my food slowly, alright guys. If you guys want to ensure that you guys want, like basically, you want to chew your food, slowly eat your food. Don't just swallow it very fast. Like chew a little bit and then slowly eat. Because slowly eating your food, right, mean that your stomach is able to digest the food slowly and more like ensure the food is properly digested. And your body will get the proper nutrition easily, and then you can slowly make sure that at the end of the day your stomach is able to digest all the food and then release all the unwanted food out, and that's how you can get stay slimmer a little bit. I mean, if you guys slowly, between eating, I'm not quite sure whether there is a proper study for it, but it's just basically for me, right? Slowly chewing your food and slowly eating your food, right, it's way better than you eating the food very fast for some reason. But don't get me wrong, if I'm in a hurry, I will eat very fast though. But normally I will try to enjoy my food. It's because I always tend to live by the principle that always enjoy your food slowly. Don't just take your time, slowly eat your food, just enjoy the food. Food are meant to be enjoyed. Food are meant to be slowly eaten. Don't let anyhow go and I got no time and then I want to eat as fast as possible. Just take your time. I mentioned I can take 1-2 hours just to eat my food, you know. Right now I'm just eating up to half the serving, and right now it took me around 30 minutes to eat it. I'm still slowly enjoying my food, you know. The funny thing is, after the whole thing, right, I'll be going to the toilet just to release all the toxic stuff very fast. It's like my body will be finished digesting the food and then I'll be going to the toilet to release the toxic. But I think my dad is the fastest one. My dad always claimed that when he eat his meal, he have to go to the toilet immediately.
because his stomach is so strong that it digests his food within like few minutes, and then he have to rush to the toilet to release all the toxic out. Every time when me and my mom and him will go out and eat, then after we eat our meal, my dad will be like, I need to go to the toilet, and he'll be like, oh okay, go ahead, go and take your time. Me and my mom will be like, go and take your time. Or if my sister is driving, my sister will be like, oh, go and take your time then. And just in case you guys want to know, it's my younger sister. I only got one sister, and that is my younger sister. And I can show you guys, the way she drive is like a guy. It's like how a guy play Initial D or Midnight Tune in the arcade, the driving, the racing game in real life. You just randomly say "be mine" to your friend, and what was your friend reply? And alright, Sangam, how's your day? I'll check the Twitter in a while. She says sure, but you have to be the bottom. Accept it. When it's on accept it, I know you want to accept it. Be important to women, you don't mind. Right, that's why I said accept it. I said give me a while, I'm eating right now. Hiya, let me take my time to eat lah. I want to eat my food then, you know. The way it's so hot. Go and take a. Actually, how do you guys get yourself like how do you guys beat the heat though? Normally right now I use the air conditioner. Like right now I'm using the air conditioner. But normally I will use it I will either use the fan or I will take a cold shower. I'll take like seriously I'll go and take a cold shower. But even if I say cold shower, right, the water come out will still become very warm though. I mean, I don't like to take a hot shower during a summer day though. You use a bit fan so it's very loud. I don't know. I mean, one of my friends, right, always say that he always eat ice cream. He'll eat ice cream or eat shaved ice. And then you guys see the next day. You guys see the next day. Because he eat too much ice cream. There was one time when he ate there was one time when he ate 5 bars of ice cream because it was so hot. And then he got sick the next day because of stomach ache. I mean, for my case, right, you guys have to understand, always make sure to drink water, no matter what. I mean, even if it's raining and it's still freaking hot,
make sure to drink water. The reason why I say you need to drink water is because if you don't drink water, you will get heat stroke. Heat stroke is very hard to, is very problematic because you can die from heat stroke easily. You drink tea. Tea is still alright though, as long as there is liquid. Tea, water, coffee is alright, but try to drink water, plain water, because water is contain no cholesterol, or no cholesterol, no calorie, no whatsoever. I think you guys can see that normally when I say this is a really huge serving, right? Now I'm really enjoying my whole serving, and it's not even finished. And yes, I can finish this whole damn thing myself. That's just how much I can eat. I think on my cheat day I eat a lot though. If anyone follow my Twitter account, they will notice sometimes when I post some picture with a lot of food per meal. Yeah, definitely it's really a lot though when I eat one of my meal. I tend to eat a lot. Do I get fat right now? Yes, if I keep eating this much and don't exercise. I mean normally I don't do retreat. In the past, like how do I exercise? I go out and walk, or I go for a jog. Like seriously, I go to the I do a jog around the Kamogara River. The Kamogara River is really a nice place to jog in Kyoto area for me. I mean like if I return back to Singapore, I might have to return. I don't mind doing some jogging around, but personally for me, I feel like at least exercise like a few days per week will be good. You don't really need to like exercise every single day. Like for my case, right, I always walk a lot. When I say walk a lot, it's not like 1 hour walk or 2 hour walk. There are times when on my rest day, like when I'm not having, like when I'm not even in school, what happens is that I go out and walk around 3-4 hours non-stop. And at the end of the day, I can clock in around 20,000 steps. Around there, I think I get from 20,000 steps to 30,000 steps per day. Even on the off day, basically you just need to walk a lot. You don't need to run, you don't need to jog, you just walk. And if you are thirsty, just go to a convenience store, get some water or green tea or whatever drink that you want, and then just drink it. It's alright. If you want to drink like frappuccino or anything, it's also considered alright. Just take a break, drink it. Don't eat anything, just drink only. Like basically you choose not to eat, because frappuccino itself contains a lot of calories, and that it alone will give you more energy, and the more you walk, you burn away those energy. If you eat, you need to burn more calories. So I tend to do a lot of walking than anything. But like this, right, for this case, right, it's really a lot though. Normally this one is, like I mentioned, it's really served for 3 to 4 person. If I'm eating in front of my friend, they'll be all like damn short and the amount of food I'm eating. Right now you guys are looking at me eating how much though? 1 cup of raw rice, when you cook, you become 2 cups of rice. 2 packets of instant ramen, 5 dumpling, 5 sausage, around 100 grams of beef, meat, 3 small hamburger steak, sun spinach, around 100 gram, 150 gram of spinach, around 50 gram of ground pepper, 50 gram of onion, 2 eggs, 2 slices of cheese. Now, usually there's a lot and a lot of some water for it. Yeah, basically, if you think about it, there's actually a lot of ingredients that I'm eating right now. Though. Obviously you can't use the heel for the bone if your leg is hurt. I think your leg is injured right now, right? You are hungry. Why are you hungry though? You want to eat raw ramen? なるほどな。So I eat ramen and rice together. That's why for my recipe right now that I'm eating right now, the reason why I use rice and that's the reason why I eat a lot of rice and a lot of instant ramen. Just take your time. Because at the end of the day, I will be starting to be very full. I feel so full to the point that I'll be sleepy. That's the reason. That's also the reason why I only eat cheat day on my off day. If I don't eat cheat day on my off day, I can't enjoy my food though. That's the reason why I always eat it slowly, so that I can enjoy my food slowly and take my time. It's also gonna be finished soon though. Well, the one thing I can admit that at the end of the day, when I said I got watermelon belly, I think you guys also understand why I really. I think you guys will understand why when I say I got watermelon belly. Considering I eat this much. At least you guys should know now. I really like this too though. Like you guys can see it's very getting slowly finished up already. And it's gonna be around 1 hour soon of my eating. And when I say I take around 1 hour of eating, like seriously, it's really going to be 1 hour soon though. Oh,
Oh, I'm starting to feel full. If anyone asks me how many percent full, yes, around 80%, I think. That's why I said I ate a lot though. And also, normally you want to prepare around 80% full. Right now I'm really starting to feel the fullness. Normally I will stop around here. Maybe I should use one packet of noodle, not two packet of noodle though. Normally I eat one packet of noodle though. With one cup of rice. But don't worry, I can still finish it though. It's just that it will be much slowly. I don't want to add water though. I don't drink water. If I drink water, I'll be very damn full right now. Excuse me. The chili powder is really making my nose runny right now, which is a good thing. Because I don't want to get a runny. I don't want to make sure my nose is stuck blocked. Oh. You take off? Oh, good to know. Yeah, okay, you guys need to see it's all empty already. Nothing. Nothing. But I still got a little bit more on my bowl, so I will eat it finish. But yeah, it's really full though. After finish this dumpling. Yeah, I told you guys this is my one meal on my cheat day though. I say like this is my cheat meal. I'm really seriously eat the whole damn thing myself, you know. Like there is no one in my room that it's just only me alone and I'm eating this on my own. This is like basically I mentioned 3 to 4 serving though. But I need you guys to know that when I said when I go to the toilet to release my body toxic, I'm seriously releasing a lot of toxic flow.
Like tomorrow I'll be in the toilet for around 30 minutes or to 1 hour just to release all the toxic. Or I might tonight release it very soon. Excuse me. Actually, the smell when I was cooking it, it was delicious, you know. That's why I say normally you have to try to make sure when you cook, right, if the food is delicious, you eat the whole damn thing no matter what. All right, all gone, all finished. That's just I ate the whole damn thing already. Let me take a photo of this achievement. Oh, that was delicious! Oh my god. If I can share it with you guys, I will definitely share it with you guys though. If I can let you guys eat this, I will definitely let you guys have a try. Because all my friends who come to eat actually my real life friends who come to my house to eat, they always say that my food is tasty though. And most of the time, they will come to my house to drink. Like they will get the drink, I will prepare the food. It's like basically I'm the one who cook and they will just buy some drink or some dessert or some cake or whatever like they want to bring additional, and then I'll be the one cooking and they'll be like, I mean, someone you gotta cook, we're gonna eat. One of my friends who like one of my cooking would be a friend from Brazil. And she always like a lot of spicy food, so I tend to add a lot of spiciness to my food. And no matter how spicy I add, she always like it. But the thing is that she say it's not spicy enough, but she like the spiciness. She say it's not spicy, but when she eat it, it's like she's sweating non-stop though. I was like, let's call her S-san. I was like, S-san, you said it's not spicy, but why are you sweating though? And she was like, but it's delicious. It's not spicy, but it's delicious, but I'm sweating. And I can assure you guys, like, she liked the cooking. It's just that sometimes I will be like, I was like, you don't sound convincing when you say it's not spicy though. When you're sweating, like, you were like, it's like when you eat something spicy and the effect, it's like the running nose effect is so funny. The fact that there was one time when she asked me to cook the Singapore curry, and I cook it for a friend from Thailand come to visit me. A friend from Brazil also come. It's like basically a friend who is from Thailand, one from Brazil, two from Indonesia.
they came to my house and eat. I cook Singapore curry because basically it's the most simple dish to be cooked. Like I think I showed it on previous video. It's basically when I cook that, and when I cook that, I just at the end of the day, it will just serve the curry, the sauce on top of the rice. You serve it on top of the rice, and then you just eat it on its own. And it can when I cook around 5 serving. I cook 1 serving for myself, really like 1 serving for myself. I don't want to eat too much at that day. In the end, it was a good thing I only cooked 5 serving because 2 of them, the one from Thailand and one of the female from Indonesia, they each of them eat a little bit only. So in the end, I ate more than 1 serving, basically nearing to 2 serving. They all like the curry. And I have to even teach 3 of them how to cook it because the last one is a guy from Indonesia. He doesn't want to cook. He doesn't want to cook. But the female from the 3 female is basically one from Thailand, one from Brazil, and one from Indonesia. The 3 of them asked me to teach them how to cook. And the funny thing is that when it comes to cooking, right, when I teach people, I even got 3 Japanese girls who come to me and ask, Ami-san, nobody is girls wanting to learn to cook, not guys wanting to learn to cook. And there was one of the girls who kind of talked to me and tell me that I will become a very good Yome-san. I was like, huh? And I'm supposed to become the husband, not the wife. What are you saying? I will become a good wife? I was like, the girl tell me I will be a very good wife, and I was like, huh? Oh, what he doesn't say that's you. I was like, I'm a guy, you know. Because in Japan, right, they always say that in Japan they always say that when a girl who can cook very well, when a girl can cook very well, they call the girl, they will become a very good wife. But when I'm teaching them, they say the same line to me, and I was like, "What he doesn't say this, yo? I'm a guy, you know." And I was like, I act like a girl. I talk like I'm. If I tune my voice, I can sound like a girl. I walk like a girl. My personality is like a girl, and I cook like a girl. Basically, I cook very well. And I was like, but that doesn't mean I should become a wife though. Are you guys gonna be married? It's like I told everyone, it's like, so in future, it's not good I married the girl to my family, it's I married to the girl family instead. Excuse me. Right now, my nose is really releasing a lot of the because of the chili pepper right now, which is making me releasing a lot of snot right now. And welcome back, Nanji-san. How was the class? Oh, by the way, let me go and take a look. Vanessa asked me to take a look at the Twitter. Let's see. Let me join it. Okay. You can join in, but let me go and use the earpiece. Oh, that seems very nice. That picture seems very nice. Oh, I'm burping. Oh, I'm so full. So full to the point that I can't even talk about food. Eating food made me feel so full. I'm so happy. Yeah. How amazing is that?
Wow. So your senpai became your student. They the senpai, you the sensei. Both are. Uh-huh. And that's. And then slowly became from the same school. Wow. So basically your so basically your senpai, wait, are they not from the special talent class, or are they I mean, they are from the same school. Why are they not able to speak English properly though? So basically when you in Thailand, when you enter something like international school, you learn English at a very young age. But the school you are learning, the school is like normal Thai school don't really use English as the base, right? Something like that. Oh, okay, I understand already. That's the reason why you sometimes ask me to teach you English, right? Snow 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 Mobile. The Snow Mobile is basically isn't this the machine that you dry in the snow? No, it's snowmobile. This deny no. Deny became Danny. Oh my. Deny. Deny. Not. It's based off the word Denial, you know. It's based off Denial. That's why it's called deny, because they simplify IAL to Y. That's why it's called deny. Alaria san kong ame, how's your day? I just finished it a food on YouTube. Because basically today is my cheat day, so I just finished cooking though. I just finished cooking, and then it took me 1 hour to finish the whole meal. I guess it kind of was late for my cooking. Nadia san want me to do some cooking cooking podcast. I just did though. And in the comment, I know that some people is like, "Oh my god, Abe's son, he eat the freaking damn thing." You are way too late. It's alright. The recipe, I will archive the video in a while. So you know what? Let me end the video on YouTube. For everyone who are still watching on YouTube, I'm sorry. I will end this video so that you get archived, and I can send the link to Laria-san. She always requests me to do the cooking podcast. Alright, anyway, I'll continue talking a little bit more on reality. So for everyone watching this in into YouTube. For everyone watching this in the morning, have a good day. Everyone who are watching at night time, have a good night rest. We'll talk at the next stream at the next stream of video. Bye.